This is the Culture and Collabs podcast. I am Kennard Carter, and today I'm with my godson,
How you doing?
Cameron Hill. Cameron Hill. You know, every time I've always said that name, man, I always want to say Cameron. And I was like, but your mama, who I love a lot,
Oh yeah, she gonna let you know.
she gonna have she had her way of spelling your name,
Mm-hmm.
and it's Cameron.
Cameron. She gonna let you
I'm
know.
like, Tawana, it's Cameron, okay? No, it's Cameron. Okay, I ain't gonna call up a word that starts with G and ends in Edo, but I love her. That's okay, you know. So I ain't gonna talk about it too much. But man, out of college, it's official. You walked across the stage,
Yep.
and how's it feel?
You know, honestly, I'm still trying to process everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still kind of like I just got out in it. I feel like a lot of times it's hard to process things when you in it until you just give it a little time.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say now is just me just trying to explore myself, explore some things that I want to do with my life, and just kind of just living in a
Mm-hmm.
way I would say right
What's
now.
your degree in?
My degree communications.
Communications. Okay. And how many times did you change this degree along the way?
So I started out in cybersecurity,
Mm-hmm.
and then after I transferred, ended up going to a junior college, and from there I got my associate's degree,
Mm-hmm.
and then I went back to university, and now I just graduated with my degree in communications. So in a way, about 2 or 3 times.
Two or
So
three times. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I got to tell you, man, I'm impressed by you because you changed schools.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
how many times? Is it 5 times?
Yeah. Five schools in 5 years. So I,
And
I kind of did I don't even know what to even call that. Like,
I mean, you call it in being an athlete and chasing with this new evolution of the transfer portal, which
yeah,
I knew nothing
yeah.
about coming up. But hey, I don't know. Do you feel like that opportunity or that access, making or normalizing transferring, was that helpful, or was that kind of counterproductive in some way?
I feel like it was helpful just because, sometimes everybody's situation be different too. Like, for instance, I could give context for my first school where I
Mm-hmm.
was my first year I got injured, so I medically redshirted, so I didn't waste that year. But now it's my sophomore year. It's a year after COVID too. This part is important because everybody who is still on the roster during the COVID year, they get a year back. So now you have guys who are 5 years, some 6 years, and now they're coming back for another year.
So did you get a year back?
No, not
Because you
no.
technically hadn't started
I,
yet.
I didn't start yet, so I
Okay.
didn't get that year back. Sadly, that
Got
was
it.
my senior year,
Okay.
and so from that, I'm 19 at the time, and we got 25-year-olds that play my position.
Mm.
So in that realm, it was like, because I honestly wanted to stay. With me being young, I was like, kind of like, in a way stubborn, but stubborn for
Hmm.
the right reasons, just confident in my abilities.
So Purdue,
Yeah.
um, you went to Alabama,
Yeah, I went to a junior college in Birmingham, Alabama, Lawson
S-
State,
Southern.
Cougars,
You went to Southern,
Logan, John A. Logan.
ISU, my alma mater.
Yep, ISU, the Redbirds.
Bounced from there, then went to Ohio.
Yep, Bobcats.
Bobcats.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay.
yeah.
So, how you feeling, man? It's over. You've officially walking away from baseball, moving into, now being a professional, a
Yeah.
career professional now. Any mental roadblocks that you feel like you've been having to navigate in this process?
I would say one is,
Or are you happy? Because sometimes, man, when you're done, it can take some stress off. Because being an
yeah,
athlete is kind of stressful, man.
yeah. One
I mean,
thing, yeah,
let's
that's
keep it real.
real. That's
I mean,
real.
uh,
It does take a toll on you at times, but one thing I will say is I feel like it's two sides to it. Like on one side, it's something that I've been doing I'm 23 now,
mhm.
and I started playing when I was about 5. So that's about, let me do the math. What's that?
Since you were 5,
Yeah.
you've been playing since you 22.
23. So what's
23,
that math?
almost 20 years, 18 years.
18. Yeah.
18 years.
So I basically had a kid with this game.
Yeah.
That's an adult
Yeah.
now.
Well, right. When's your birthday?
May 6th.
May 6th. So you just turned 23.
Just turned 23.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, man. It's a lot. I mean, again, I know from I didn't have access to the transfer portal. I didn't have NIL.
Yeah.
Neither of those were options for me when I played, and having injuries to I'm still navigating, and now kids that I'm trying to support and use sports to teach lessons, and not just the sports themselves. Although I would love for them to be, again, I'm a professional tennis player and a baseball player, my son, or a hooper, which he thinks that he is all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Because now he sees Wimby on TV and I want to be him, and thinks that's just it's that easy. But I realize that it's not the same for everybody, man, and you have to navigate your own emotions, particularly post sport. Like a lot of people have to deal with, retirement when it's over, and how do you, make peace going through it? How do you make peace and adjust to real life and being normal or like everybody else after the game?
Yeah. And I feel like one of the things that help, and it's something you just mentioned too, is the whole aspect of like, even though we'll be so caught up in our own problems and our own stresses that we'll think that like we the only person that it's happening to.
Right.
But I ain't the only one who played college baseball and been done. It's been thousands, probably millions, that felt just how I feel.
Sure.
And even with that, even I could just even talk about even my roommates or my past teammates who are my age who are done. Like say I'm struggling with some, or I'm trying to navigate what I want to do with my life or with my career. I could maybe ask somebody I played with who already started their career, how did they work through it? And so those are things that I have been doing, reaching out to people who have been in similar situations as me to see what different strategies and different techniques that they use. So I would say that's been a good tool for me. And then it also helps you connect with others and connect with past friends and
Right.
rekindle relationships and because we all just trying to figure this out and
Sure.
take it one step at a time.
I mean, and don't, I think a couple positives to know that being in the real world and now being a professional. I mean, not that sports is in the real world, but I mean, we all are going after them big contracts. Let's keep it real, right?
Yeah.
You want that payday. But what you've got to know is that most employers, a lot of employers, see athletes as very valuable professionals, very valuable employees, people that work hard, they can multitask, and that they have a different pedigree about them, a different discipline about them every single day. So that's a positive for sure as you now think about, which path you're going to take, and I understand, man, it's not going, the stress, the pressure, the things you thought, when you were, thinking I'm going pro, that's my goal. I remember us having those conversations and you were, and who am I to tell you that you're not going to do it?
Yeah.
There's a part of me that always wanted to balance that thought, right? Because at the end of the day, that there are people. I mean, I've played with people that play professionally, and then I knew some of the things that I was missing. That I wasn't able to get over the hump to be able to go and be, in the NFL or in pro sports. Although I played arena, but ended up getting injured, and that was the biggest thing: the physicality of the game. And how do you now leverage your intellect and your mentality, and now that passion that you have and the competitive spirit that you now have to coexist with people who are in an office, or leading a team of people, and it's not being measured by, how aggressive you are, who you about to tackle, or a baseball you about to hit.
And that just made me think of too. It's like, it's almost just like I just feel like like I'm still going through this phase now, but even with me talking with one of my friends, he say like, for instance, he does sales right now and he does tech sales, and Uh, he said he goes into his job every day with the same mindset that he had at practice. You
Mm-hmm.
know, he's playing like almost like the same songs to hype him up
Okay.
that he'll lock in before he
Okay.
had. And and for me, it
Mm-hmm.
just made me think about how like like it's the same energy and it's the same like essence that's
Mm-hmm.
being created. It's just in a different avenue.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think you just unlocked something, and that is sales. And I didn't immediately go right into sales. I went right into, I mean, I was doing sales to some degree because really my first job was at Enterprise Rent a Car. Believe it or not, I just needed something.
Yeah.
I was ready to get out of my mom and daddy house, and that was just a temporary job. But I was pursuing media and being in journalism,
Hmm.
and and I knew I needed to have something like that kind of get you through job.
Hmm.
But my point is that it wasn't in sales. I mean, it was in sales kind of, but I didn't appreciate what sales does, what it offers today. Because essentially now when I'm not, making podcasts, I'm in sales, and I
Yeah.
think that sales pairs well with the athlete. It's performance based. You essentially eat what you kill in a lot of cases.
Hmm.
You earn commissions and typically a base salary, and that's a big opportunity for athletes. So I like that you have found that already, and I think that in general, athletes likely excel in a sales environment. I mean, I don't know that to be true, and I don't have any data to support that, but generally speaking, I would think that that's the case.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
1000%.
yeah. Um, you asked me a question earlier about being creative,
Yes. Yes.
and I kind of wanted to go back to that and revisit that question that you asked, that you were trying to get some insight on, and I wanted to see if I can, do it any justice.
Yeah. So the whole journey for me and kind of how it started was as I was playing my sport, it was like I was like at times I could be like just too involved in it, or like at times in a way like just too obsessive at times,
Mm-hmm.
to where like from talking to people they would always tell me, you know what, Cam, you should try to find a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
Try to find something outside the game. And from that, like I always like music, so I listen to music. I bought me a little DJ set, so I started to like mix on the
DJ
side.
Cam.
Yep, yep. So yeah, we gonna come out with a set soon.
Okay.
Y'all can hear it.
All right.
But
I definitely want to hear what you got.
oh yeah, yeah. I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad. It's been going good.
Mm-hmm.
So I started doing that. Uh, I tried to start to paint.
Mm-hmm.
Like embarrassingly, like looked up, went on YouTube, tried to
Mm-hmm.
do the Bob Ross follow alongs. That
Okay.
man, that man moved too fast for me though. I'm not gonna
Right.
lie.
Right.
But so, in all of these things, what I noticed was the things that I was gravitated toward
Mm-hmm.
was these things that I guess people like to call creativity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and at least for me, I just feel like at times that word gets thrown around a lot because creativity could be subjective. Like, how does one tap into their creative side? Or, in other words, what does being creative mean for you?
Mm-hmm.
And with the people that you were involved with, how did it look?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll say that a creativity looks different for everybody, and you got to obviously tackle it, you know, in your own way, and whether it's writing, whether it's singing, whether it's painting, whether it's digging into your own kind of creative output. You're going to have to get comfortable with kind of like the measuring stick. And unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of us look for the measuring stick to be social media and what other people say. So while you may not, like who's to say something is not art,
Yeah.
or is not this isn't creativity. I do think there's levels to it, right? And we don't always have the luxury of being creative in the jobs that we perform. And those are people who are playing a part on a team. Those people are just as valuable as the creative people as well, right? But typically,
Mm-hmm.
those things have to start somewhere. So I think that when you look at creativity, it becomes the real, um, you know, um, real it's like, what is it for you, essentially? Can you tap into your own output, and work your way through it, and be comfortable with the journey. I think that creativity in itself. Some people want to monetize creativity,
Yeah.
so that's what measures it. And I think that immediately puts like a real you know kind of a bar or qualifier on it, where that might not need to be the case. It could be just for yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that that's just something that you have to, really be okay with along the way, because, it's going to look different for different people. I remember seeing an artist visually color outside of the lines when they were doing a painting. And, and then in the end, you would never know that artist unintentionally colored or unintentionally colored outside of the lines. You would think that it was a part of the art, that they were making. So it's to each his own, and everybody's always going to have to have something to say, no matter what it is. So if you're good with that, if you can get the noise out of your head, and then just create for your own purpose, whether it just be to de-stress, whether that's to enjoy, have fun, or to say, hey, you know what? I'm an artist. I'm going to become an artist or be along the path. Because everybody's got to start somewhere, and I think if you can get good with that, you can then find your way tapping into different levels of creativity, and that's the other part too. People are going to say, well, you're doing too much. You're doing a little bit of this, you're doing a little bit of that. So what?
Yeah.
That's my shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, don't.
Yeah.
It's not for you. This is some cases about yourself. So that's why you have to be mindful of like where you go for validation or how you showcase your creativity and your why in it all. So hopefully that helps or makes some kind of sense.
Yeah. No. 100%. Because even that made me think of. I was reading something. This was about 2 or 3 days ago, and it was basically it was just a quote, and the person who said this quote, it was actually Rick Rubin.
Okay.
So I was reading something about him, and for the people, if y'all don't know who Rick Rubin is, he was basically he one of the founders of like kind of like rap music in a way of bringing it more central, more mainstream. Like founder of co-founder of Def Jam, etc. Many other accolades as well. But one of the things that stood out to me from what he said was that for him, how he measured success was when he liked his product enough to where he was able to put it out there in the public and not care what other people had to say. And for me, that stood out to me, and that sounded a lot similar to what you were saying too about like how no matter what it is you're doing, like if you like everybody, like you can't win with everybody pretty much. So with that, it's like you just gotta mean something to you.
Right.
And so like, but with that too, this is kind of like I guess a follow-up question that it makes me think about. If you don't know what it is you want to create, what would you say then? If you don't have like, for instance, like when people say leave space for your creativity, or what does that mean, or how does one even leave, like what does it actually mean to leave space for one's creativity? Does it mean like having a quiet place? Does it mean being comfortable? Like along that realm.
Or you mean or uncomfortable?
Yeah, or uncomfortable too. Yeah.
Yeah, because when you're not clear about something, how do you become clear, and where do you start? So the answer or response that comes to mind for me is R&D, research and development, and it's just that, giving yourself room to explore, to be curious, and to investigate and ask questions. Unfortunately, a lot of us are afraid of judgment and afraid of what people think first, and that kind of guides how we do things. Well, we don't even ask the question.
Yeah.
And limiting yourself or keeping yourself from asking a question, keeps you from the things, the process, the journey. You know, when you jump straight to the